So, recently I was playing Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Because 2025. When I got to Mission 7, Suffer With Me, the last of the missions set in the past. Well, technically all of the missions are set in the past now since the final mission, Judgment Day, is set June 19th, 2025, which now is 4 months ago. And when the game came out, it was just under 13 years in the future. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. Mission Suffer With Me, set in December 1989, sees U.S. Navy SEALs being sent in to invade Panama and capture the dictator Manuel Noriega, who has been working with the main antagonist of the game, Nicaraguan arms and drug smuggler Raul Menendez. For the longest time, I thought this mission was a completely fictional story, and Noriega was just a cartoonish game antagonist. Turns out that both him and this event were real, and much crazier in real life. But first, some background information. In 1968, Omar Torrijos would overthrow the Panamanian government and make himself leader. The U.S. government, who is typically not a big fan of dictators, honestly didn't care because he was anti-communist and it was the middle of the Cold War. He would lead the country up until his death in 1981. 2 years later, in 1983, Noriega would take over and would begin doing pretty much everything, because he was simultaneously controlling Panama, trafficking cocaine, assisting cartels in South and Central America, and acting as an informant for the CIA. But as far as the US was concerned, he doesn't like communism, I don't like communism, he's my new best friend. But by the mid to late 80s, old Manny was getting a bit too big for his britches, and Uncle Sam could not continue turning a blind eye. With the killing of guerrilla leader Hugo Spadafara in 1985, President Nicolas Ardito Bernella Valderino being removed from office, and Noriega's connections to other spy agencies coming to light, a federal grand jury would indict him on drug charges. Negotiations for his resignation would begin and just as quickly fall through. Because a tyrannical dictator is obviously not giving up power willingly. So, following Noriega annulling the 1989 general election, which he lost fair and square, as well as a U.S. Marine being shot near the Canal Zone, newly inaugurated President George Bush, no, not that one, his daddy, H.W., would say, "That's it, let's go get this bastard." And thus kicks off Operation Just Cause, which for some reason in the game is called False Prophet. Anyways, December 20th, 1989, the operation kicks off, and 297,000 American troops, mainly composed of Navy SEALs, were sent into Panama with the objectives to 1. Secure the canal, and 2. Capture Noriega. On the 23rd, he would flee from the whorehouse he was hiding in and seek refuge in the Vatican Embassy. Now, due to treaties, U.S. forces could not enter, so they had to flush Noriega out. And how did they do it? If you said loud noises and American rock music, you'd be correct. Because over the course of the next few days, they would rev vehicle engines loudly and blast songs such as I Fought the Law by The Clash and Van Halen's Panama. After 10 days, on January 3rd, 1990, Noriega would finally give up. He'd be hauled off and slapped with charges of drug dealing, racketeering, and money laundering. He'd be sent to Panamanian prison. 22 years later, after the release of Black Ops 2 in 2012, he would attempt to sue Activision for falsely depicting him as a war criminal dictator while he was serving a prison sentence for being a drug dealer, tyrannical dictator. Needless to say, the case was dismissed. No he actually did all that stuff. Anyways, that's all I've got to say. Like and subscribe, and until next time, goodbye.